What do you get when terrible characters make terrible decisions for 75 minutes straight? You get Find Your Friends. Welcome to Scary World, where I walk you through the best, the worst, and the downright disturbing. I'm Arturo Padilla.
Hi.
Let's get into it. A girl's trip to Joshua Tree turns deadly when hostile locals and one of the girls' buried trauma ignite a jaw-dropping game of revenge.
Can we make a pact with each other? No matter where we end up, can we all just agree to take our annual girls' trip?
Promise, bitches. We're best friends for life.
The first category is production. Does this movie look good? Is it well executed? First-time director Izabel Pakzad shows real flair behind the camera. The film is well shot and composed with handheld work that builds tension and sharpens its psychedelic edges. It's let down only by some murky underlit scenes. A lot of the club shots in particular lose their grip. For production, Find Your Friends gets a 1 out of 2. The movie looks good, proving that this first-time feature director knows what she's doing behind the camera. The next category is story. Does this movie make sense? Does it keep you engaged? Pakzad wrote the script too, and this is where it all falls apart. The story is full of terrible characters who make terrible choices and are terrible to each other. Logic goes out the window early, and the dialogue scrapes the absolute bottom of the barrel. For story, Find Your Friends gets a 0 out of 2. The first 15 minutes of this thing are pretty unwatchable with extremely off-putting dialogue. I'm not sure how I got through this slop of a narrative, honestly. Next up is Ensemble. Are the performances good? Does the cast have chemistry? The cast is one big disaster, but what can you expect from these actors given the garbage material and possibly even poor direction? Thorne is particularly terrible, and as a supposed friend group, they share almost no chemistry, a real problem for a movie called Find Your Friends. Every one of the characters is an over-the-top, exaggerated caricature of a human being. For Ensemble, another swing and miss, 0 out of 2. I haven't seen characters this bad in a hot minute. I kind of feel bad for the actors. Whoever gave them this script and told them this was a good idea should be fired. Now for the horror. Is it scary? Does it deliver the goods? There is very little blood and gore here, but what we do get is actually surprisingly effective. The effects are practical and look quite good. Unfortunately, you'll have to wait until the final 10 to 15 minutes of this movie to really get any of it. For horror, the only morsel of quality to come out of this thing, it gets a 1 out of 2. It feels like they had this one really cool idea and decided to build a really bad movie around it. Lastly, legacy. Does this movie leave a mark on the genre? Will anyone remember this movie 5 years from now? This might be the worst movie I've seen all year. From the characters, to the story, to the overall execution, it wasn't just subpar, it was unbearable to sit through. For legacy, Find Your Friends gets a big old 0 out of 2. There's not much to say here, this was just plain awful. Now let's add it all up. For production, Find Your Friends gets a 1. For story, a 0. For ensemble, a 0. For horror, a 1. And for legacy, another 0. Find Your Friends adds up to a 2 out of 10. Ugh, gross. Shudder must have needed a tax write-off because letting this get made was an act of charity. I'm Arturo Padilla, and remember, it's a scary world out there, but I am here to walk you through it. See you next time.